Hello, and welcome back to Hold and Modify, YouTube's most poorly produced, underproduced Amiga channel, and it is Q again. I have to do something I really don't like doing with these, and that is not just opening them up, but opening them up and completely, totally ripping it apart.
This computer will rule the world.
Amiga 4000 040. This came out in 1992. I'll give you a really fast history lesson here. 1992 with the 68040. This was the last hoorah, the final big box Amiga from Commodore. Released the 1200 and the 600 and the 4000 all around the same time, the CD32. This was the placement for the 3000, 2000 lineup, so you could have all your expansion slots and put your Video Toaster 4000 in there, which was a brand new card at the time. It was the new and improved toaster, and that was a big selling point. I think even the company NewTek, who made the toaster, had something to do with this. Maybe they had a little bit of input making sure that, of course, the toaster could fit in the box. Because one of the problems with the video toaster is that it did not fit in the Amiga 3000's case without modifying it. You had to like cut it open. So, it's kind of a bummer. Got the 4000 on this blanket here, folks, because I've got this fancy granite countertop, and these computers tend to carve the crap out of it. Yeah. So this 4000 in pretty good shape. It was actually originally restored by Chris Edwards. That's why there was that little magnet up there, and he did an amazing job putting this together and cleaning it up, making it all pretty. Complete recap, it actually runs amazing. It runs amazing. There was an issue with the video slot, so the video slot was just being a bit of a pecker, and just did not want to work. So I could put Zorro cards in the video slot. So the video slot comprises of a Zorro slot and then the actual RGB video slot. The RGB video portion of that slot was bad. And yes, we tried different daughter cards. We swapped the motherboard, tried my daughter card with the known working board to make sure it wasn't a daughter card issue. That wasn't it. Looked all over the board, couldn't really see anything at an initial glance. So Dr. Chris, being the cool Superman that he is, was like, listen, send the board back. Let me look at it. Maybe I can figure something out. Meanwhile, he has sent me a replacement board, and I need to, of course, swap it out. And that's why I have to tear this all apart and take you all on this lovely little journey of disassembling an Amiga. Now I'm gonna just do a time lapse on this, and I'll stop at key interesting points of notation, maybe, to have you look at it and be like, oh, what is that? What is this? What is this gonna do? But one of the neat things I always like to check out, by the way, is the some of these like original stickers, either from Commodore or from the vendor who was selling it. Yeah, this has the Seagate 120 meg originally hard drive in it. Of course, as you can see here, now it has a compact flash hard drive, which you can easily yank out. This USB card with the Ethernet. I have this on most of my big box Amigas. Actually, I think all of them have a 10/100 Ethernet card. It does have these USB ports, which of course get you really excited, thinking, I got USB on my Amiga as well. Unfortunately, no. This 10/100 card requires an additional module that you have to plug in and then connect those two. And sadly, I don't know if that module is just no longer available or nobody's making a knockoff version of it or whatever. I don't have it, so I don't have USB, but it hasn't been that big of a deal, especially since the hard drive is so accessible right here. And of course, having a network connection, having USB isn't really that big of a deal. So yeah, this expansion port cover is missing. Probably should try and find one of those one day. But let me go ahead and get this 4000 open. Now, some of you may ask, was this the only model? Because I kind of just rattled that off pretty fast. There was, in 1993, about a year later, they did come out with a cost-reduced version, and it was a 68 EC030, I believe. So this is the 68040, kind of a proper 25 megahertz 68040 with all the goodness in it. And then they came out with a kind of a stripped down 68 EC030, which is basically an 030 without the FPU, I believe. I mean, look, it was a way to get somebody a big box Amiga with the AGA chipset, the ability to put in their cards and not have to spend the big cash on the CPU card, I guess. Save some money that way. And maybe not everyone really needed all that CPU power. Maybe they just needed what was going on in here, plus the AGA. I don't know, everyone has their reasons, right? Yeah, this 4000 still has the original, this board does, the original plastic cover on the inputs there. I'll leave that on there. That comes with the motherboard, so it'll stay with the motherboard. All right, let's get this cracked open. I'll be using my trusty LTT screwdriver, lttstore.com, of course. There you go, Linus. You send me my check now, please. No, I don't get any checks. You guys know that, of course. don't do anything in this channel except talk about old Amiga stuff. All right, so let's pull this off so it doesn't get damaged or lost. It's very important. And let's get the proper bit for this. Use the fat boy here. Also, if you are using either this screwdriver from LTT or other similar styles that have the really, really powerful magnetic tip mount here, keep this away from your Amiga floppies. Remember that if you're working with retro gear and you're around floppies, this is not something you want to be messing with. Now, I was just at Harbor Freight the other day. I could have gotten one of those magnetic parts trays, and I really regret not doing that. Yeah, want to see how wrong these screws are? You can see these way down here, but they're really wrong. Very, very, very wrong. Those should be the same screws. And I don't think either one of those is actually the correct screw. Chris Edwards did not ship it to me this way. I will make note of that. I did not get shipped this with improper screws. He shipped this with all the correct screws. I had since taken it apart a couple times since getting it back from him and failed to housekeep properly. Let's just say that. And look at this. You get to see the beautiful inside here. Look at all the goodness here. There's the Ethernet card I was talking and blabbing about. Here's, of course, the IDE drive. And if you look over here, you'll see a secondary hard drive. There's actually two drives. I have two options. I have my CF card back here, and then I have the SD up here. I haven't done a complete disassembly of a 4000 in so long that I don't know if I actually remember everything. And you're accused, well, why do you, is it this important that you need to do this? Sort of, yeah, because I have a Video Toaster 4000 and I want to make a video on the Video Toaster 4000. I'm not a toaster guy. A lot of people, because I do lightweight videos, think I know all about the toaster. I don't. I never really had one. I sold them, so my familiarity was just enough of the marketing material that it shipped with to try and sell people video toasters. Mostly what I was selling was video toasters because people wanted Lightwave. So I was selling them Lightwave, and then the toaster just came with it. And it was a big dongle. It was a big card that was plugged into their Amiga that was like a software dongle, basically. They didn't even care about the toaster. So I want to make a toaster video because I want to figure out some basic principles behind it and how it works and show it. But without a functioning video slot, I can't show the toaster off. I also do have a Picasso 4 card, which is currently in the Amiga 3000. I'm probably going to leave it in the Amiga 3000 because this 4000 here has a Mark III in it, just like the 1200. In fact, you can kind of see it underneath here. I'll show it to you once I start pulling this all apart. I, of course, wanted to do the easy thing, which was just ship Chris my entire 4000 and have him take it all apart. I mean, he's doing this, sort of as a free pair, I mean, I did actually pay for this 4000 originally. But, of course, he does his maintenance and his warranty work. And would it have been easier for me to send him back the whole computer? Of course it would have been. But it's kind of a dick thing to do, too, because now, like, he has the time. He has so much going on in his life. He wants to rip this all apart to do a motherboard swap. Of course not. That would just be kind of rude. And in fact, if he didn't say, if he had said yes to that, if he's like, fine, go ahead and send your whole computer, which I don't think he would, because that would be crazy. I wouldn't have done it anyway. I would have been like, no, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to send you my whole computer. I will take the time to rip it apart, get it over to you as just a motherboard. So here we are taking out the Mark III. This is the Mark III's HDMI output for the flicker fixer, which is jammed onto the motherboard, which I can actually now take off. Here it is. That's the Innovision Mark III flicker fixer for the Amiga 4000. And yes, the Amiga 4000 is a specific version. The 1200 is, the board is basically inverted. It's flipped the other way. So you can't just use them on each other. If you didn't know that, now you do. And we'll go ahead and pull out the amazing networking card. We'll try and pull it out. Ow! Okay, if you're not bleeding, then you're not doing your job. 10/100 networking and a potential USB card, except, this is where the USB jingus would go. Don't have it. Anybody know if they still make those? Anybody? I can't find them. I'm just asking you in case somebody's like, oh yeah, I've got like 6 in my basement that I never use. 256 megabyte RAM expansion. This thing is awesome. On top of the 16 megs that are in here. So the new motherboard Chris has sent me, he has assured me it has the memory populated in the battery, so I'm just gonna send this back. My 4000 has a Rev 11 Buster. The swap board he's giving me also has a Rev 11 Buster, so that's all gonna be the same. I believe he said he sent me a new daughter board as well. We have confirmed that mine does work. It's not the daughter board, but He went ahead and sent me one of those just in case. All right, there's your daughter card from the 4000. Looks very similar to the 3000. Now, if I recall, unlike the Amiga 3000, you can boot up a 4000 without the daughter card installed. I believe it'll get you to the Kickstart screen or something. All right, so if you look down in here, you can see more of the goodies. Go ahead and pull off this IDE cable. Get that out of the way. You're gonna see this amazing fan. This is my Noctua cooling fan, which I use to help assist. You guys see this here? I help cool the 68060. This is the BFG 9060, which was this awesome Kavanaugh's guy took the design and made the makes the boards from the design that was provided. All the credits are right here on the board. But yeah, you do need to supply your own 060, of course, and I've got that. Fortunately, yeah, that can just lift straight up and out. There you go. It's a nice board. It's a beautiful board, right? It's pretty cool. Oh, there it is. Kavanaugh's signature 11322 is when he put that together for me. It's awesome. Yeah, so the good news is the expansions cards in the back. So these are through. They're not. I don't think they're secured to the back of this. If you had this thing in here, or if you had the serials, little duders in, then you couldn't just lift the motherboard out. But as you can see, I never put those back, probably for this very reason. Hey, it's Editor Q here, and I just wanted to let you know that for the rest of this video, the audio is going to sound a little strange. That's because my recording mic, it's wireless and the battery died. How many times have you heard that in YouTube videos? Yep, finally happened to me. Battery died. Thankfully, the iPhone just automatically took over recording audio, even though the wireless mic was still plugged in. So from now on, yeah, the audio is going to sound a little up and down and weird, but it's still, I think, fairly intelligible. So hopefully you can still enjoy my blathering. All right, back to the show. Commodore did not provide a through hole in this tray to get to the screw underneath for the motherboard. So this whole mechanism does have to come out, which means, I mean, if I had like a little fancy angle screwdriver, I could probably get in there and do it. Means I have to pop the front of the 4000 case off, which I hate doing because the tabs are already getting worn on it. Pretty busted up. Barely on there as it is. It's very, very sad, actually. You'll see Dr. Chris just twerk on these and pop them off. But I mean, if you look closely on mine, these are working, these are working. This corner bottom one is missing its little footy though. Frustrating. So yeah, unfortunately this whole cage has to come out. There's the front of the 4000. It's naked front. I wish I did have, I have a CD-ROM drive I can put in here, and I just don't have a long enough cable that works with dual IDE devices still. So that's why it's often just a big gaping hole. Now we are finally to board extract mode. And yes, the motherboard has all of its original screws because Dr. Chris put this together, and I did not take the motherboard out ever because I don't like doing this. In fact, this might be my first 4000 motherboard extract ever, because I did the 3000, which was my first Amiga big box board extract ever. This was my 3000, because I took out the completely destroyed 3000 original motherboard and replaced it with a Amiga 3000 board. And I have a whole playlist of videos in my channel about that if you want to see that. And then, of course, I've done the Amiga 1200 multiple times. The nice thing about the 1200 is so easy to just rip that board in and out of that thing, especially if you don't put in all the little dinguses in the back ports. It just makes life so much easier. Oh, 4000 engineers, I love them. So not only do we not have a through hole in the floppy tray to get to the motherboard screw, there's no way to get to the screw that's under here because this is in the way. Yeah. Form over function, function over form. What's the right word for that? All right, so there we have it. I believe this should just come out with zero effort. Ta-da! We have extracted the Amiga 4000 board. Yay! There you go. I've got my Kickstart ROMs, my 3.22s. I'll confirm with Chris that that's what's on the board he sent me. I'm sure it is. If not, that's just a quick swap. And yeah, as you can see, original board, so none of these chips are socketed. They're all surface mount, and that includes the buster. So it does have a the 11 there, yeah. There she is, 11 buster. Already has this. No battery damage whatsoever on this board. Super clean. Yeah, it's just really bizarre. The board is, I mean, it's darn near flawless. It's a little crunchy, grungy monkey in the ports area, but there's nothing obvious that would state why the video slot portion of this board does not work. Nothing that we could find, really, at least on an initial exam. And he's going to have this now in hand, and he can deep dive on it and check it out. Let me package this up and get this sent off to him, and then I will see what he says. And then in the meantime, yeah, I'll have to go ahead and reassemble the 4000 and put her all back together. That'll be so exciting. It's the exact reverse of this. Hopefully have a functioning video slot. But yeah, guess what? I'm going to save that for another video. Why? Because I'm not going to make you sit through an entire time-lapse video of me reassembling the 4000 as a video. That was this video. That video is going to be, hey, I reassembled the 4000 and it worked. Yay. Now let's check out the video toaster. Yeah, see, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to plan things a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed watching this teardown of an Amiga 4000 to extract the motherboard. We've had success, and it's my first time doing a 4000 this way, to this level of destruction, actually. Thanks for watching. I'm done with this video.